What is up, awesome people of the internet? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Quita in the Mornings. My name is Quita, and we in the morning, so get your coffee, get your whatever you got to get your orange juice, get dressed, and get ready for the day as we talk about some women's hoop. We're going to be quick on this one. It's going to be hopefully it's going to be about 20 minutes, because I got to go to church. So, guys, there's a couple things I want to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is, do you still have a perfect bracket? Do you have a perfect bracket? If you do, you are a absolute genius and a future teller of some sort, because 0.05% perfect brackets remain. Like that, barely any perfect brackets remain for the women's game. I'm just like, man. I got destroyed yesterday. I got absolutely destroyed in my predictions. I thought my prediction was like, I thought that we would see Iowa lose yesterday. That didn't happen. They absolutely dominated, right? I thought that I was wrong. Absolutely wrong. And here's the deal. Every year, sometimes I'm like, okay, should I just go for the straight better team, or should I go for things that could possibly happen, right? Because you just never know. You absolutely just never know. And right now, I am at a 48%. I'm at 48% correct for my bracket. It's so terrible. It is so terrible. Because it wasn't just that Iowa game I got wrong. I thought there was a chance that Cal would beat Mississippi State. Mississippi State won, right? I thought that Oklahoma State would beat South Dakota State. Wrong, right? It got to the point where I was just like, you know what? I'm not looking at my bracket anymore. I'm not looking. Because I was bad. I was bad at this. What was y'all? Let me know. And did you know something interesting about this time around? For the first time since 1994, only 10 seeds and above remain. So there was no actual major upsets. Usually there's some sort of like slight upset. This time, no upset really at all. It was primarily chalk throughout. And today we got a whole bunch of games on deck because we have officially hit the second round. So initially we had 68 teams enter into the NCAA tournament. That we have the first 4 games, and that goes from 68 to 64. First round starts. We go from 64. Now we are at 32. Okay, 32 teams remain in the NCAA tournament, and that thing is going to get whittled down to 16 come the end of Monday. So I hope y'all are prepared for it. What's on deck today? Well, we got a couple of really good games today that you all should take a look out for. We got Oregon versus Duke. That is the first game on deck that is happening at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Eastern time is all the dates on the screen right now. We also have that followed up with Michigan versus Notre Dame. I think that's going to be a very, very fun game. K-State versus Kentucky. We got the K's against each other. Ayoka Lee versus Georgia Amore. Chelsea is saying, I'm changing to K-State. Okay. Here's the thing. I think Kentucky got this. I think Kentucky got this, but I've been wrong before, so who knows? Who knows? I cannot predict the future. I cannot. But yeah, it should be fun. Anyway, we got Indiana versus South Carolina. I mean, truly, I think this is going to be probably the biggest blowout of the day, but we'll see. Never know. Though I doubt South Carolina loses that game. I think they're just going to absolutely dominate in the first half, and it's going to be over from there. But that game is at 3 p.m. Eastern time on ABC. That is that one, and the Michigan versus Notre Dame game is the lone ABC games of the day. We also have Ole Miss versus Baylor. I think that's going to be a fun game, and I do have Ole Miss winning. I think Ole Miss is a great team, fantastic team on defense. I think they're gonna help to kind of shut down what Baylor is going to try to do. We have a reunion of sorts, guys. We got TCU versus Louisville happening. I think that one's a game that you definitely want to make sure you watch, okay? That one's at 6 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. Watch that game. And the reason why you should watch that game is because Haley Van Lith is taking on her former team in the Louisville Cardinals. Now, basically no one is currently on the team that was on there when she was with Louisville. However, it's still kind of like a cool storyline, right? Her going against her former team and whatnot. I think that's going to be kind of fun to ultimately watch. If y'all could, as y'all are hopping in, please make sure to hit that like button. That really does help the channel out a whole lot. And if you subscribe to the channel, that means you will be able to post your comments. All right, so the comment section is strictly on subscriber mode. So that means if you want to make a comment, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and also just hit that like button for me one time. That really does help the channel out a lot. Be like Kentucky Rick. Shout out to you, Kentucky Rick. BB says Kentucky almost lost on their home floor to Liberty, so I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, you never know. Indiana is super confident. And I saw like some people didn't like their confidence in their voice yesterday in some of the clips, and I was like, well, why not? Shouldn't they be confident? You know? But yeah, man. We'll see what happens. We also have Tennessee versus Ohio State. That is going to be fun. That is going to be a fun battle. Ultimately, I do have Tennessee winning, but at the same time, who knows? Will Cody McMahon go off? I think she kind of has to in order for Ohio State to ultimately get the dub. For Tennessee, it's always playing by committee, speeding up the opponent and whatnot, and we'll ultimately see kind of what happens on that front, man. Sierra says, I loved watching Norfolk State give Maryland a run for the money. They did. See, here's the deal. Yes, Norfolk State lost. And guys, I actually have it's loading on YouTube right now, my recap video of yesterday's games. But you'll listen to it more in there. But like, I thought that Norfolk State played a masterful game. Here's the deal. They gave it all that they had. I believe this is the highest seed ever for Norfolk State, and they played their butts off. In the first half, they were getting after it, right? It got to the point where I was like, oh my goodness, is Maryland about to lose? Ultimately, Maryland ended up getting a dub, kind of wearing out Norfolk State. But Norfolk State, they should be very proud of themselves. Like, absolutely 100% very proud of themselves for the way that they worked and the way that they just tried their best to ultimately get the dub, though they did not. But again, check out my recap. Jeremy is like, no, Tennessee is not beating Ohio State. Well, we'll see. We will see what happens. Greatness says, I think the game of the day is going to be TCU versus Louisville. I agree. Because I would say that game, and I would also say Michigan versus Notre Dame, because I think the rest of these games will be good and be interesting, but like the storylines for TCU versus Louisville, I think they just write themselves, right? I think they just write themselves in terms of Haley going against her former team against and then like the newcomer freshman going up against the maybe slightly losing it Notre Dame. I don't know. I think there's some good storylines there, and I think those two are going to be some really good games that you all want to make sure to watch. Okay. Lauren says, I'm a Buckeyes fan, but honestly, Tennessee could win. They could. They could. They could. Our resident Paige Beckers fan, FaZe, is saying Paige with the fire emoji. I mean, Paige didn't have to really do anything yesterday. Yesterday was all about AZ Fudd, who was just knocking down shot after shot after shot after shot. I tell you this. When we talk about pure shots, like literally one of the purest shots I've seen in forever in AZ Fudd. I thought it was cool that Carolyn Ducharme got some minutes yesterday and got some love from the crowd and whatnot, because this was a tournament reunion of sorts for both AZ and Carolyn, because Carolyn has been dealing with the concussions, and so she was out last season during the tournament, and then we all know that AZ was out last year as well, the ACL tear for the tournament, and so that's the thing. And so it was cool to see them two return, and then see the newcomer in Sarah Strong just absolutely playing strong down low. Like she's cool. She's a really, really, really cool player, and she's been rocking out as a freshman. So, I'm just saying. Will is asking, do we have an injury update on Miles? I don't think we do. My assumption is that Olivia Miles plays. I think Olivia Miles will play. Now, I have not heard an update. I have not heard an update. Let me check to see if they may have put something out overnight or something. I don't see an update. So I'm not sure. But my assumption is that she's gonna play, because again, she was able to walk off on her own power when she went out with that ankle injury, and so that's something to know. I think she should play, but at the same time, we have not officially heard any word. Chicago Cheetah is asking, is Juju okay? Yep, Juju's okay. If y'all don't know, yesterday Juju, she hurt her wrist in the first quarter, I believe, and then in the third quarter, she was going up for a layup, ended up rolling her ankle on someone's foot, and then she kind of hobbled out of bounds, and then the play was still going on. Came back inbounds, went to the 3-point line. They passed her the ball. She shot the 3-point shot after messing up her ankle. She ended up coming out of the game, hobbling over. I think she was going towards the locker room. I can't remember if she actually went in the locker room. She was sitting on the bench. She came back in for the fourth quarter and then came out. In the post-game presser, she did say that she's fine. It's towards the end of the year, so like she'll have some bang ups here and there, but like she's fine. She said she's fine. X2024 is asking y'all to hit that like button. Yes, if y'all could hit that like button, that really does help the channel out a whole lot. But anyway, today is the day that we are going to see some really good teams fall. Again, had 68 teams, then we had 64. Now we are on our way to 32 in the second round, because the Sweet 16 is right around the corner. Now I'm curious about what y'all got to say about these games today. Do y'all anticipate any upsets? Do you anticipate any upsets? Let me know. I don't anticipate any upsets besides Tennessee, in my opinion, will beat Ohio State, and Ole Miss will beat Baylor. But other than that, I do think the better teams win. So like Duke beats Oregon, the fact that they even made it to the second round is huge. Notre Dame will beat Michigan. Kentucky will beat K-State. South Carolina will beat Indiana. TCU will beat Louisville, and UCLA will beat Richmond. That's my projection. And then we just have 2 minor upsets, in my opinion. But what do y'all have to say? Let me know. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know. Let me know. Marty says, playing players too much leads to injuries. I mean, yes, but at the same time, injuries are a part of the game. Injuries are a part of the game. If you don't want to get injured, you cannot play the game of women's basketball or basketball, period. And I do find it pretty interesting that, like, Juju kind of messed up her ankle in yes, it was the third quarter, but like still pretty garbage minutes. Like the game was well in hand, right? Olivia Miles messed up her ankle in the fourth quarter when the game was well in hand already, and so I think eventually these coaches, yes, players can get injured at any time, but like if you're winning substantially, why do you have to play your starters? Right? Why? Tim is saying that Louisville will beat TCU. Well, I mean, they can beat TCU. They absolutely can. They have the offensive firepower to do that. However, I don't know, man. I'm putting a lot more weight. I'm putting a lot more weight on home court advantage for TCU, and that Haley Van Lith plays out of her mind. But we'll see. Greatness says, I agree with everything you said, but I do have Ohio State winning. Anthony says, Quita has been wrong a lot. I have. Here's the deal. It's not just me that's been wrong. It is not just me. 99.5% of people were wrong as well. So it's not just me. It's not, yes, I was wrong. 100% I was wrong on some of the picks. I was. But also 99.5% of other people were wrong as well. So we're all wrong together. Here's the deal. I can't predict the future. Neither can you. I just say my predictions based off of, yes, the better teams, but also what I think can happen. Because it's March Madness, guys. It's time for the wildness. So I did make some picks that were like stretch picks, but I was like, you know what? Who knows? Upsets happen all the time. What can I anticipate that can possibly happen? And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And that is all good with me. Because, I base it off of what I see, but like at the same time, you'd be wrong. Nothing wrong with that. But if you are one of the 0.05% of amazing people who are still perfect, like, let me know. Tell me your wisdom. Tell me your wisdom. Okay? Because right now, in the awesome people of the internet group, no one is perfect. We don't have anybody perfect. But yeah, at the end of the day, anyone can and will get got. That is straight up facts. Guys. All right, guys, that is the stream for today. How long have I been going? Yes, I've been going for 19 minutes. I was trying to make this a 20-minute stream. Sorry, guys. There's so much more I want to talk about. I did make a recap video that will be published. Let's actually go ahead and publish that right now, so you all can head right on over there to watch the games that happened yesterday. What happened, things that you all should know. So yeah, make sure to rock out with the channel. I'm not sure if I will be live again today. I might. It depends on how close some of these games are. If I feel like they're extremely close, I will hop on just to talk about what's going on. But yeah, that's the stream, guys. I really do appreciate y'all so much for rocking with me. But ultimately, guys, it is March Madness time. It is time for all the upsets. It is time for all the craziness. It is time for teams that we don't expect to win. And ultimately, I'm looking for a whole lot more of us to be proven wrong on our predictions because, yeah, I mean, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. But yeah, Juju Watkins goes down. Yesterday we saw LSU absolutely dominate the competition. We saw South Dakota State end up getting the dub. We saw Michigan get out of victory against Harvard. We saw NC State looked like they was possibly going to lose against Vermont, but got it together in the second half to ultimately win that game. We saw USC dominate on both the offensive and defensive end and a whole lot more. I hope y'all are excited about day 3 of the NCAA tournament. It is going to be a fun time. All right. All right. Okay, now I am trying to put in my next video. But again, make sure to watch that if you all can. I thought there was a way for me to send y'all straight there after this, but I don't think so. I don't think I can do that. Which is a bummer. Oh, we got a super chat. Hold on. We got a super chat that I have to get to. I'm glad I stayed on for this. I was literally about to end it. Where'd the super chat go? Thank you so much, Diz Fan, for the super chat. Says, ooh. Says, what are your thoughts on UConn scoring 66 before halftime? Feel like they should have had a limit against Arkansas State. I mean, it's a talent difference. It's a huge talent difference. I mean, in the NCAA tournament, we will see huge blowouts because there are just some teams that are just so much better than the competition. I don't think there should be limits on games. If a team, and here's the thing, it wasn't like UConn played their starters the whole game. Gino played the bench a lot, and they still dominated. And so sometimes you're just that much better. You're just that much better than the competition, and it sort of is what it is. I don't think there should be limits. I think this is what happens. I think this is exactly what happens in the NCAA tournament. I don't know. Personally, I don't see an issue with it. I don't. I do not see an issue. And guys, if y'all didn't know, UConn beats Arkansas State 103-34. And it was total domination. And hey, it is what it is. Sometimes teams just are not up to snuff. And Arkansas State, this is their first time in the NCAA tournament. This is a learning experience for them, right? They shouldn't have their heads held low because UConn is absolutely fantastic. And Arkansas State has not played the level of competition as UConn all season. And so this is what happens. Hey, you want to allow 68 teams into the NCAA tournament. You will see teams get blown out. It's how it is. It is how it is. All right, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. Go on over and watch my other video with the recap of yesterday's games. I am publishing that right now. So go over to my videos tab, watch that, and rock out. Y'all, have a great day, and I will see y'all in the next one. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.